Mii's. They're charming, they're dashing, and most importantly of all, Tom Holland. Mii's, in perhaps one way or another, are quite integral to the childhood of little Zandy boy. Whether it was in the context of Wii Sports Resort, or perhaps in creating terrible abominations on my 3DS. The Mii is an endearing and eccentric character bursting with limitless creative possibilities. Well, I suppose you are limited in some respects because there is a finite number of facial details to select from, but I hope you understand my previous hyperbole. Now, in this very year, 2021, Nintendo has bestowed to us Miitopia, an RPG-centric game where every character is a Mii that you, the player, creates from scratch, or selects from the online gallery. But let me assure you that making your own Mii is much more rewarding. You could always select the inaccurate pop culture Mii incarnation someone makes in probably, 5 seconds. Or you could take your time to craft an intricately detailed, mind-blowingly handsome Mii. This is my Sonic Mii compared to the real thing. I think the resemblance is uncanny for sure. I also made a Pyro Mii based off everyone's favorite Smash DLC character, and I think I truly captured the look of the character perfectly. But those are evidently not the only two characters I've masterfully created. May I present to you Kanye West, who has graced us with his Kanye Best. I don't mean to get into spoiler territory, but Mr. West turns into a giant evil floating pharaohhead in the game, and it's up to you, the brave hero of Miitopia, to vanquish the villain's foe. Afterwards, he pursues a career in philanthropy and gives back all the gold he has stolen to the town next door, which sounds an awful lot like next door. Haha, funny Lamau. I also made Tom Holland, of course, and here's a comparison of the version I made for Miitopia to one I made back in 2019. And I would say I've come quite a long way from my heydays as a failed Mii artist. And not to exclude every one of my characters from the game, but oh well. I also have an amazing Breath of the Wild inspired Zelda to showcase to all of you. I must say, I am the proudest of Zeldas. So proud in fact that I have her as my Mii Gunner default in Smash. And we even won a game together. It was quite adorable. The game focuses around your main Mii protagonist venturing across the land Miitopia to defeat the diabolical, face-stealing Dark Lord. After 20 or so hours of vanquishing the same 10 or so lackeys, you defeat the Dark Lord, but the evil spirit that corrupts the Dark Lord escapes and possesses a great sage, who you see fewer times than you make videos, but he aids you on your quest nonetheless. Simple enough story, yet still probably more subversive and intricate than Breath of the Wild's. What's even simpler is the gameplay, because either your CPU Mii's do their own moves, or you just press A to make your own actions. The gameplay can be facilitated even further, since the player can make all characters' moves preset. The visuals and quirks your characters possess do a decent enough job to distract the player from these glaring flaws, but they're still quite noticeable in the end. However, as much as I would appreciate more complex game mechanics, I can recognize that that's not the intent of the game. Instead, it's up to you to level up your characters through outings or through varying levels of accuracy, or building relationships with all party members to attack enemies faster and more efficiently. Not to mention, each party member is assigned a job, ranging from being a human-sized cat to generic RPG tropes like a basic swordsman, with each job delivering various abilities and methods to defeat an enemy. Behind a very easy and comprehensive gameplay system is a significantly more player-responsive and complex system to level your characters and make them stronger, making each battle a lot easier. Plus, it is undeniably cool to have the ability to create Mii's from a diverse franchise roster and have them come together. It's honestly refreshing more than anything else. And as I have mentioned, the character models and environments are incredibly endearing, and interactions between a set of characters, while usually not providing the most fluid of conversations, always does bring a smile to my face. Though I will admit that some of their actions are not easy for everyone, Nintendo. In addition, There are so many enemies you can encounter regardless if many of them, as mentioned, are recycled for several missions. For instance, you can fight a levitating piece of bread, Penny Parker as a buff demon, Bayonetta as a frog, Zelda as something from my nightmares. Miitopia, while not the most conspicuously challenging game in the world, is a lot of fun and shouldn't be overlooked for merely being a kid's game. In fact, perhaps it being a kid's game makes it more enjoyable on a pure aesthetic and nostalgic level, making players who grew up with Miis reminisce on simpler times. And for $50, a whole $10 less than a standard retail game, you get a lot for the asking price. Yes, admittedly, with how minimalistic the game controls and given its inherent nature in RPG, it can get incredibly repetitive at points. But taking a day or two break doesn't hurt anyone. Absence makes the heart grow fonder, and that's precisely what happened with me. For these reasons listed, I would highly recommend Miitopia. In terms of Switch games that I played so far, I would rank Miitopia lower than Breath of the Wild, Age of Calamity, and Smash Ultimate, but much higher than Mario Odyssey, but my general distaste for Odyssey will be explained another day. Goodbye for now, Gucci Gang.